Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all. Let's go ahead. Let's have ourselves a nice Christmas special. This is the Christmas special. I'm ready to get into the trading action. We're ready to go ahead and make some money. The Nutcracker's here, and we'll see. Can we crack this market today? Let's get right to the trading show. You guys know where you're at. It's TTP. Let's go live, traders, and see what we got up our sleeves today. Hugo wants 200, baby. You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What's up out there, team? Who's ready to get it started? I know I am, and of course, it's one of the best days of the year. It's Christmas Eve, guys, and I know I love this day. It's my favorite holiday, of course, and ready to have a great day indeed, guys. We'll take a look at the market and see what we can come up with, and we'll see how long I stick around, right? It's going to be more dependent on the market action here. Of course, like always, guys, smash the like. No Mitch today. No. Have no fear. Money Mitch is here. What's up out there, guys? Merry Christmas indeed, guys. And how we doing out there? Let's get after it. Let's see what we can come up with. What's going on out there? Hey, it's good to see you guys. Definitely. Thanks for joining the show. And if you guys ever want to join the show, don't forget, reach out to me. And like always, pay attention to a nice survey. I'm going to put out a nice survey next week, get some more feedback on the live stream. Like always, guys, we want to make 2025 the biggest year ever right here on Trade the Pool, of course. I'm super excited. We got a lot of things for you guys. We give a nice special deal. If you guys didn't take a look at the special deal, guys. And if you get those super, extra, and ultimate right now, you get a free package just to have some fun, right? I mean, hey, you never know what can happen with that smaller package. But let's get it started. Let's talk trading, guys. Definitely check out the deals, and they're only until Monday. Don't miss out. Extra 7 days, I think, is just the bonus within itself. So check that out, guys. Let's get it. Merry Christmas. How we doing out there, Brendan? Let's do it. Let's go make some money. All right, and it's good to see you guys. I hope Mustafa out there. I hope all the loyal listeners out there, of course, Day Trade with Tony, my man, getting after it. I haven't seen Tony in a little while. Let me know what's going on in the small stocks, Tony. What's up out there? What are you looking at? And then, of course, you guys know it, my man, Jorge, wishing you the best, man. Hope things are doing well. And like always, keep the battle on. And boy, wouldn't you know it, guys. Wouldn't you know it? There was one guy I was wondering about today. One individual. I mean, you guys, what's going on today with GME? That's one thing I got to talk about. GME is hanging on. I even had to bring that up on Trader TV. Trader TV asked me, about the meme stocks and meme stocks holding on here. And I'm just like, well, GME's holding on. And then I was thinking about none other than one person, guys. One person only. You guys know who it is. My boy, what's going on? Steve in the house. Merry Christmas Eve, my friend.
Merry Christmas, Mitch.
Oh,
is my audio okay here?
Oh, you're doing great, man. I'll adjust the little reduce the background noise. That just cuts off a little bit of it, but you sound perfect, my friend. Looking awesome, jolly. I love it, man. Let's go. Let's have ourselves a day, guys. You guys out there, smash the like. You guys know where you're at. It's, of course, Trade the Pool, and we're ready to make some money today. Turn it up. I'm gonna blow some speakers today, guys. Let's go. All right, guys, we'll take a look at what's going on in the market, but happy to have you here today, man. I didn't know if I'd get you today, but I had to take a look, and there it is. Just bloop. I heard it should have been a jingle because you're coming in with the jingles, my friend. What's up with GME? Are we going to get a GameStop rally here before Christmas? Is Santa bringing nothing but PS5 games and Xbox games? What's going on here, man?
Yeah, it's exciting, right? I mean, look at that. I mean, that shakeout after earnings, and then the fake breakout, fake or back testing. Is it starting to look at? Look at that. What is that? A 9 EMA on there? Just holding
Yeah,
like a champ. It's beautiful.
yeah, like a
I don't know.
champ.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. You know me. You know what I'm excited about. You know what I was going to bring to the table here. So I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, man. And the only thing that it leaves me wondering is this, man. What is this?
Oh.
What is this, guys? What is this really mean? Of course, this was put out on December 5th by the infamous Roaring Kitty. What does this mean, though? What does it mean? That's what we all need to be wondering here. The only thing that I can decipher is 420?
Maybe. I don't know. There's some memory going on.
I don't know, but then what's with the minute 9? I don't know, man. This is where you got to be thinking, guys.
Mitch, you ever watch Lost? Because that's what I'm getting. That's the vibes I'm getting here.
I don't know, man.
It might take a few seasons to unwrap, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna make that bag.
It's one thing I can decipher, right? So this play bar is YouTube.
Okay.
So I can tell it's YouTube because of the way that they did this on the right hand side. So that tells me something. Then 109, does that mean January 9th?
It certainly would correspond with some of the flow I've been seeing on GME. There's been a lot of bullish flow from mid-January, a lot of 40 strikes.
Yeah, and then so maybe 40, maybe it's 40, or maybe you can flip this around. I have no idea, man. I'll tell you one thing. 31. We know how the 30 was such a battle, right? And then we did fight it, and then we came back down below it again. So this 30 had been such a struggle, but what I like is this morning's candle where it just went to 30 and it went right off of that. It opened in the morning there and then started to come right off of that. So I'm looking to see 30. If it collapses through 30 again, I think this won't be able to hold on. But we have the potential today to really get this going. So we'll see what happens in GME. Let's go across the board here. There's tons of plays to talk about. Of course, yesterday's hot plays. Let's go through those. AMD and AVGO. And who was talking AMD yesterday? Of course, your boy Money Mitch, keeping the eyes out there on the streets. The streets are talking AMD, guys. I saw so many financial gurus out there pumping AMD. We talked about it yesterday. It's more about a market share opportunity for AMD. That's what people are thinking. And of course, it's beaten down, right? And so they're looking for beaten down names to grab those into the year, right? Because those are the names that usually do well. The names that essentially went and struggled for the year. Why? Because if you bought AMD in January, let's just say January this year, right? Where are you on your price? You were in the red. You were in the red. So essentially, what is this? This is tax loss harvesting on AMD as they sold out of the position, right? Sold their loss, took the hit, and probably reloaded in looking for the next rip to make that money back, right? And so the big boys will sometimes take the loss to take the tax loss, right? So then you can at least go and then take some loss there, right? But then if you rebuy in, you're not going to have to get that loss on this year if you hold it to next year, right? And so some people will kind of do this they get out of it, they take the tax loss, but then they get right back in it, right? Because they're still thinking that the stock is going up. They're just saying that their timing is off and they're going to do some tax kind of strategy here to get around it. And then I look at it and I'm like, man, that's a lot of volume coming in here. It's speculation, it's tax loss, it's the potential of what could happen to AMD with their new chip and the battle with Blackwell chips. Of course, we've heard so many struggles that are going on with the kind of supplying issues that NVIDIA is having. So, hey, I think you're definitely seeing that strength in AMD. AVGO is the next one. We talked about the volume that I saw here, that over 100 million. I talked about that. That told me that it didn't want to come back to 200. Yesterday, nice day. Today, already to 241. It's looking strong, guys. That to me just seems like a big buyer adding on a position. So to me, this is not someone that bought here. This is someone that had the position probably around the 160s or 170s. It popped on the earnings, right? They let it come back to that area. And then they said, all right, well, here I'm going to go ahead and load the boat and probably just hold off the bottom of this 211.
Yeah,
if anything, I still make money, right?
You know what this chart really reminds me of?
What does it remind you of, Steve?
Not to cut you off mid-flow there, but this is just screaming like a year or two ago, Netflix and Facebook meta charts when they were gapping up off the bottom there. I mean, obviously very different in terms of this is at all-time highs and pushing higher, but in a sense of you have the gap up, you come back, it barely tests that gap up, not even, and buyers say, wait, this is what we were waiting for. The big news gapped us up. We came back down to the level where price is now becoming accepted. Everybody knows they have big things on the line. Don't ask me the details. My boy Jay Arlington knows all of the fundamentals, but what I'm seeing is big strength in the chips. I'm glad you're bringing this up because NVIDIA, just crazy flow as always, is starting to break out of that falling wedge. We have Avgo obviously leading, Broadcom, and TSM. TSM is another huge name that's pushing all-time highs. All of this under the narrative here of chips being underweight. Last time I checked, chips were like 12% underweight. You know, so all of these things, and then you've got the narrative lining up for the tax loss harvesting too. So I see a lot of reasons to be long AMD into next year for the reasons you're talking about. But I don't want to discount the leaders here. So I'm glad you're bringing up both sides of the sector. It's really, really good to get a feel on.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I like to do is always like to kind of understand where the momentum's going, right? And so I talked about it yesterday, how AMD is that momentum style play. When it starts going, it goes, right? And so yesterday, what did we get? We finally got an hourly pullback to the 9 EMA. Those are what I see a play here on AMD, hourly long pullbacks to the 9 EMA. So that's what I'll be watching there. And take a look there for Marvell, on also stock that's really hot here. So I'm not trying to call just the leaders. I'm talking about these are some names that you got to watch here. This one came back, tried to break 105. Look at the reaction right back. It looks to me like it's trying to get back there towards the 120s. We'll see what happens there on Marvell. And even Micron, I think, could start to make the way coming back into that gap.
What's up with memory, man? I love Micron as a company, but it's been so painful to watch.
It is.
Starting to pull that U-turn there?
Yeah, so one of the things that you're seeing here is I think you're seeing accumulation off the 85s on the monthly. So if you look here on the monthly, you can see the 85s being multiple bottom area. So that's where your trouble area is now, 85. And I think you're seeing big money trying to load the boat around the support right around here, which is around that 90 to 85 area. Let's see if it starts to come back to the 100. That's your watch.
I'm glad you brought that up. With MU, just real quick, I think it's so crucial for these big parabolic moves. I mean, it went from 40 to 150 or whatever, you know, it's so important to pull back on the monthly and take a look like you are. And what you'll see is that, it's basically retesting the 50%, fib of that major parabolic move.
Exactly.
And we have those top wicks, but we got the bottom wicks, right? So for me, this is a failed breakdown pattern and it's starting to curve out and, get that double bottom look. So. Yeah, also, the Bollinger Bands they're starting to get tighter, right? So we're going to get a big move here pretty soon.
Yeah, and what you want to do is on a play like this is where you have to know what you're doing, right? What type of strategy you're going for. Like when we were looking at Micron when it was breaking through 100, it was near the top end of the pattern for a breakout look. So those are momentum plays where you're trying to buy and ride the momentum, right? But if momentum comes back on you, you get out. It's a different play, though, if you're buying it on the monthly support, where you're trying to see the continuation move go, right? So you get up to that resistance and you don't have to sell when the stock comes back here, right? That's the difference between buying the breakout or buying off support, right? This gets thrown around each way. You'll see some trader poo-poo the support buyer. You'll see some trader poo-poo the resistance buyer. That's just the truth, guys.
The resistance buyer, the classic, right?
It's just what it is, man. And one of the things is, it's just strategy, guys. Try to keep it to that, right? It's not about downing the strategy. Understand how you work and how your strategy works, right?
And It's so important too with the different strategies to know your hit rate, right? Like, I mean, if
Exactly.
you are a breakout trader,
Exactly.
know that about yourself. Know that about
All
yourself.
right,
that
guys,
they
we're
aren't
open. Ding, ding, ding. Christmas is going here, guys. So one of the things is being ready for the opening momentum here, guys. So there's a lot of stocks to take a look at out the gates. QUBT, can that get a little lift there? I'm still a little bit more downside betting on quantum, but I'll tell you what's going to give me the sign. IonQ, take a look at the leader for it. If the leader can get back through 44 and 45 today, yeah, you can ride it right back. Rigetti is one that's near the top end. I'll tell you guys that. That's one that's on the watch. Look how it's just sitting here at the 11 and versus the other ones that got hit a lot harder. There is a gap that it can go to 950 today. So that's one to watch for downside. Qs overall just starting to pull back here out the gates. One thing that I will keep in mind is that a lot of people expect Santa Claus to be a quick rally. A lot of times it's a back and forth battle of 1% moves. So just be careful out there. We'll see what happens here today. Let's get after it, guys. Retail I'll be watching. Lulu, names like that. Look at Lulu starting there, 387. Was trying to play Lulu yesterday at around the 384s. So looking pretty good as it holds 386. ANF is one to watch there. We'll see what happens with retail today. XRT has pulled back. I'll see if there's any strength there today. Utilities, another one. GME starting the strength already here, 3130s, but pulled back to 3060. Is this the move here right out the gates? We'll see what happens here.
It's cooking. I'll be your GME eyes here today, Mitch. For SPY, real quick, I just want to call out that 595.50 handle there. We have a pretty crucial short-term pivot starting to form there. They're fighting for it. That's our 200-minute moving average on the 1-minute chart. So that's where I'm keeping an eye on just in terms of this opening push momentum, whether we're going to hold this, which it looks like it's trying here. So if we can get engulfing, then this could be cooking. Sorry, what's up, Mitch?
Oh, no, I'm having fun in the chat. They're saying Merry Christmas. You know, we're having a good time here, man.
Absolutely.
All right. CREV, crazy stock of the day, up 200%. This thing went from $6 all the way up there to $13, is hanging out up here. But look at the 15 minutes. What do I see here? I see a lot of topping in the 1230s here. So that's what I'm looking at. What do I see? 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to try to get above 1250s. I'd love to see it try to get there one more time and then fail. You can see how it went to 1236. So I'm watching here to see if it fails and starts to just come down here. All right, looking at alerts out there. Trawl giving me an alert. So that was a mover from yesterday, seeing that get hit there. TRAW. Look at the drop on this thing. This is why you got to watch the second day move. This should have been a short for me, guys. Holy moly, this thing just went down fast there from about 11 to 983s there, breaking down here and pulling back on the daily. Could be back at like 7 by the end of the day.
Yeah, watch that back test on yesterday's low. If it fails there again, then that could be a definite short there. Ooh,
Tesla smoking up there, guys.
SPY looks really good right here. It's starting to try to engulf that opening candle. It looks like we've got juice, but just keep in mind we have a pretty big level of resistance at 596.50, right around there. So that'd be kind of our rejection point if it can clear that opening level, which it isn't quite yet. So I'm definitely
Hardcat hot, guys. Heating up there. You got the drone play here, and this is one that could come back today, guys. It has a nice little pop here towards the 11. We'll see if it can keep going here. Not a bad one. NNE is one that I'm watching, guys. That just did a nice little pullback to the hourly support. That's exactly what I'm looking for here. If I can get a buy near the 2650s, that seems better for me. And a stock that I can also look at today, CCJ, they're both turning back down, right? I'm looking at uranium also to see if I start to get a little bit of a sign that we're starting to get this uranium play coming back. So
I like
watching
the
around.
idea. Keep an eye on SMR as well. That's another really fast mover. Oh, you're on it. You're on it. You know what's up.
Yeah, man. I can't believe, dude. I still remember. I tried to buy SMR. You want to know where? Back here when we were watching it down here at $8, dude. That's when we started talking about it. I ended up getting stopped out on one day at 850 when I bought it at 8, and I just got out for a small win, and I should have just held that day on the 8. It's more of a swing trade.
It's so hard down there, though, you know, because honestly, I got in when it based out above there at the 11 handle, 11 to 12. That was where I was loading up. And then I sold everything at 20 to 22, and I just sat there and watched it moon. But
Look at that, guys. Look at CREV. We just talked about it, how it was trying to get through the 1250s. It ended up doing this spike here, 1254. And what happens right after that? Takedown. Takedown. Too much resistance in the 15-minute candles up there at the 1250s. I could see the resistance just building. And this is the one that really gives you the sign, right? Because now you start to attack the $10. If it breaks 10, it could easily be back at like 8, 7. So I'd like to see a bounce here to 1150s. That's the only way I can get short. So we'll see what happens there on CREV. But man, that was a hard hit here. It's halted down actually.
Just in the interest of time, while that's halted, we have a breakout on GME cooking at this 1 minute candle.
Nice.
Over 31.35 for me. That's a valid breakout.
GME, guys. GME cooking here. Cooking.
We love to see it. So I'm watching for a definitive break of 31.60 to 65-ish. That would be kind of the make or break ATR-wise. If it can push past that, I think we've got a good room to 32.50. And I got to get my cat. She's freaking out at the door.
Let's go. Let's go. Kitty. Meow. Meow.
Jimmy cat, let's go.
Meow. Let's jingle, baby. Jingle bell. Let's go.
She loves the tinsel. All right, it's going to be a battle here.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it, guys. Let's have some fun. Right now, I'm seeing Chewy up. I'm seeing Carvana up. So KMX still my top pick of the year for next year. I'm gonna remind you guys. I like to stay on my plays. This is one I'll be looking for next year to be a big year. And big part of this is Carvana's been pulling back, giving the opportunity here on the monthlies for those pullbacks. That's what I've been looking for on Carvana. Let's see if Carvana can get hot again. It's having a nice little bounce back day, but just keeping that for a long-term plays. Q's trying to catch right now and trying to hold on there. And what's leading the show? It's Tesla, Apple to the upside. I talked about Apple today on Trader TV of how there was a big volume on the last couple of days here on Apple. And I don't see that as a sell. Look at this. To me, this is an add at 250. And if you're adding at 250, you're probably down here around the 225s, 230s, and you're saying, I got this jammed here. Let's go for it. So maybe they push themselves up to like 235s, 240s. But if I was at 240s with a big size here, would I be feeling the stress? No, if anything, I'm feeling it in control here. Apple.
Yeah, push those trades. I don't know what this company does, Mitch, but this Apple, they must be onto something here. I mean, we're probably
late cycle in the AI, right? Late cycle versus front cycle. Apple's the type that will perfect the product and then give it to you. What have they been doing? They've been working in the background, man,
for so long, haven't they?
They've been letting everybody chat all they want, chat about all they want about AI. By the time we realize what Apple has really done, I think we'll be looking at a different stock price for Apple. And that's what struggles for me, because there was a point in just a little back ago where Apple was near 100, guys, near 100. And look where it's gone, right? And I mean, at this point, I think you got to look for companies like this too, right? NVIDIA's gone up and down in its history, right? But try to get those stocks that just have a tendency of continuing to trend higher are always stocks that are your good investment plays. Man, this Apple, for some reason, to me, that volume stood out. To me, that wasn't selling. That was buying going on there on a sideways consolidation. The market went down and Apple didn't barely budge. That was the telling sign. NVIDIA coming hot again today is a sign for the continued strength. And look at NVIDIA go. 141.26. That tells me watch for AMD reversals. And where could they reverse? 1 hour breakdowns here. 125s coming into play here. So I'd look for a little bit of a wick, maybe to 124, and then starting to scoop back through 125 today. We've had 1, 2. I'm looking for 3 down. That'll create the 124s. Then I'll look for one more attempt to break that 124, and then starting to look for reversal back through 125.
Yeah, I'm seeing what you're seeing. I'd keep an eye on yesterday's lows there and see if it can scoop that and then reverse. The 24 handle, 124, there's hourly support rising on there. SPY, by the way, so we are getting the top wick right into that 596.50 level that I mentioned, 596 to 60. So that is going to be the area of resistance here that we're going to need to fight. It's still pretty early in the day. There could be some fake outs here. So just don't get too hasty, but I think we're pretty bullish here. Look for spots to get in is what I'd say. You know, within reason here. Yeah, that's strong. Oof.
I like Love here, guys. I've been watching Love for a little while. I actually mentioned it on Trader TV's interview here, and it's starting to break this 34. I might just go for a little scalp here. Of course, Love doesn't go for a big move sometimes, but it was recently up here towards the 35.50. So I'm thinking we can make a run here. Qs are breaking to the upside. I'm going to go for something here. Let's see what happens here. This is a harder trade, so I'm just going to go smaller first and then try to add it if I get a pullback. Let's see if it breaks the 34 here and goes to the upside. Love trying to get some love. American Airlines, of course, has gotten hit today from what happened, but I'm looking to see if that's a turnaround here. Let's see what happens.
It seems like the news is pretty bad, and maybe it's just low volume shenanigans here day before Christmas. I'm not touching AAL, to be honest.
Qs SPY ripping to the upside, guys. Qs are ripping here, guys. Now 525s, and this is how quickly you get it. Microsoft look interesting to me. It's off of prior resistance, now acting as support around the 431s. It's having a hell of a day. Back to the upside. Lulu having a good day. Honeywell having a good day. Now getting some action there on Love here. So I'm going to go for an add here on the 34s. And then look for the real move above this. Let's see what happens here.
Sector-wise, we've got XLY leading the pack here with XLK Technology catching up pretty quick. We have a lot of sectors turning green, which is always a good sign there. Looks like we are getting a pretty broad-based move today.
AMD starting to reverse already here, guys. So now you're making that move back up, right? So this is that one more time washout look that I look at. So now that I've had those 3 or 4 attempts to the downside, can you make one more attempt to cut that 124.71 here and then just hold that? As long as that doesn't break here on like a downside attempt, I could look for a long there potentially on a reversal on AMD. You could also wait to see it go actually back through the VWAP. So here's where it traps some VWAP buyers. We'll see if it actually just goes to here, but I'm looking for a little pullback and then that move. Love starting to get
low would be, or sorry, higher low on AMD would be really nice here. This 125.63, that's kind of like an intermediate support level for me, but it could easily punch through it. But I got to say, that looks like a really strong 1 minute candle cooking up there. I would be looking for a little dip into that 125.30 handle. Wouldn't want to see it go past 125 proper. But yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this one too as well. Oh, wow, TKNO. I got out of it last week and it's up 15% today. Oof. That's how it goes.
That's how it goes a lot of the times, guys. We'll see if Love can make a move here. It's trying to hold this 33.90s here. I don't want it to break that. So let's see what happens here. I want to hold it tight there.
We got a failed breakout by the look of it on GME. That's unfortunate. I am watching to see if it can hold low of day. Ideally, it could hold the 1 minute trigger here right at 31.20, but I think it's probably looking like it needs to rebase and figure itself out. But
all right,
we're here for the long haul.
We'll see what happens there in GME.
So SPY, we're getting a back test on my hourly trigger here. This could be where it tries to reject and need to put in a double bottom if we are bullish. Personally, I would like to see it flag out here and then push higher, but I'm just keeping an eye on this one, 596.50 handle. Pretty important for me.
Some buying coming in here. Let me see if this comes right back up here on Love. I'm trying to hold off this like kind of 85 support here.
Give me some love, baby. Come on.
Yeah, the key there is this one has a pretty nice daily candle that I saw yesterday. I was already interested in it yesterday. It kind of had a nice little push off of a VWAP pullback. So I'm looking for a similar type of move where it just pulls back here and then breaks the 34, going to the 34.20s.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can get this move right back up here. And what I'd look for is AAL to kind of come up here instead of right back down to the 680s. So if you wanted to play against, that's the way to play against also. But yeah, AAL right back above VWAP. Let's see if we can come back above the 17s here.
Now I get the connection with AAL. I'm over here thinking Love was Lovesac, the futon company or whatever. Okay, that's different.
Nah, love the LUV, Southwest Airlines. I got
I thought you were in the beanbag market. That's fair. That makes more sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
nah,
that's good.
just looking to see the holiday trade here.
No, it makes
Uh,
sense. Yeah.
So AAL, we'll see if we get the lift here. Another one that I'm keeping a watch on, guys. We'll see is Airbnb. Let's go to the SPY, see what's up here in the SPY, as we are getting some names here that be a little bit interesting here. So Lamb Weston showing up there. Of course, NVIDIA. I've talked about how that's a really good sign to see the markets continue the strength. Is NVIDIA coming back? So I think the profit taking in NVIDIA is done. That's what I talked about on Trader TV today. So if the profit taking is done, that's why we need to keep our eyes on NVIDIA to be that leader that can now continues the strength, right? And that's going to continue the strength, I think, in Apple. But what you can see here now is that NVIDIA is coming back for this long-term trend line on the red, back through that, and you start to shake all that bearish action that you got through the 140s.
We're also testing, I believe we're through the downtrend line as well on NVIDIA daily. So there's a lot of good things cooking. Keep an eye on TSM and especially AVGO. That's been kind of calling the leaders here since the gap up as it often goes. So I've been keeping an eye on flow there. Unfortunately, I missed the 235 calls yesterday, but man, those cook hard. So there's a lot of opportunities and incentives right now. Another one, I was gonna say Intel, but I'm not even gonna put that bad energy out there. Never mind. Don't touch Intel ever. but maybe that will catch. We'll see. Air is actually one that I would keep an eye on. The AEHR, very very cool semiconductor adjacent company. Let's say they do well when Tesla does well, so that's something to keep an eye on with Tesla going crazy. Yeah, that's what's cooking on my list. I'm seeing some strength in miners too, in crypto miners. So keep an eye on Bitdeer, BTBR, IRDN, CORZ.
Yeah, I heard Santa's sleigh runs on Solana coin, so we'll see what happens there.
I heard that too. I will spread that around regardless of whether it's true. So Santa's lawyers, you can come after me if that's slander. So I think we're getting the flag here on SPY. It's looking real constructive still. We are seeing sellers just bopping that 597. So I'm gonna keep
the Qs are pumping. The Qs are pumping here. I'm watching the other airlines. The other airlines are looking good too. DAL showing up there. DAL is a leader right now, doing pretty well there. But it's not all the space. It's just a couple of them here. So I'm watching it here to see if it can continue. The heck is Fly exclusive?
That sounds like a scam.
You find some new stocks every morning, every morning, guys.
It's crazy how many stocks are listed, right? We do this all day, every day, and still the stuff that comes across your radar sometimes. How is this a company? I don't know. Maybe that's not fair to Fly exclusive. They're probably great, but it's a lot of stuff out there.
All right, we'll see if we get the bounce here. I'm going to set it at my risk here at the 76 support here. 33.76. We'll see if it gets back through there. That's kind of the opening low price there. So that break the low of the day. We'll see what happens there in love. Now I just want to go ahead and look for another trade just in case this doesn't work out. Where is the next setup, right? So looking around in the smaller names, BAOS is one that's been ripping, guys, ripping. This one cost me this morning, but it's been ripping now. This thing up there to 540s on my other limited account. I took a max hit yesterday. I had like a 800 day in this account, down 323 today on that BAOS. It's back there through there though. That one's been ripping here to 541, and then that CREV. It's back towards 1140s. So this is kind of the look that I would look to kind of re-short. But on a day one mover, you got to be careful for a rip back through 12. We'll see what happens there on CREV. It's back towards almost 1150 here and starting to push back here.
Mitch, I gotta say, I am keeping an eye on a potential little short here on SPY. It's kind of testing my thesis right now. It is holding short-term moving averages, but the 15 minutes looking like it kind of wants to put in some tweezers, some top wicks there, and then retest mid or lower of the range. I'm seeing I'm seeing a B-shaped volume profile. We've got some volume on the top here, and we want to see that keep building out and eclipse the volume of the base from the morning. But as of now, if we lose momentum here, I think it's very likely that we retest that 596 to 596.15-ish area. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on here. I am seeing more top hooks on the 1 minute too. So personally, if I was feeling a little spicy this Christmas, I might take a little stab short here.
CREV trying to get hot again, trying to get back there to a 12. So keep your eyes on that. If you guys are smaller players, we'll see what happens. It did reject around the 12 area here. 1250s acted as huge resistance. If it breaks that, it could just get really hot here. We'll see what happens on that one. Probably not going to be trading that one unless I get deep green here and love, and then I can maybe play CREV with a small bid there, but we'll see what happens. It's back there towards 1180s here, almost breaking the 12s, now towards 12 here. So let's see if it really gets hot there. It just jumps to 1250 and then goes for like maybe a potential uphold here. 15-minute is kind of this like weird cup and handle, you could call it. But hey, it's all about the 13 after it breaks the 1250 area. Let's see if it can go and just give a quick little run here. 1230 is already starting to pop there, so could be in a hole in a little bit here, but definitely CREV getting going.
GME watch, we are starting to see a flag actually play out here. It's looking pretty constructive, I gotta say. Better than I thought it would be after the little Puperino from the high.
Tesla's pumping, guys. Tesla's holding up the market. If you're wondering what's driving the Qs, it's Tesla. It's up 3% here from the open. Yeah, it's driving. It's driving it. And what's right behind it? NVIDIA, of course. So keep your eyes on those. Monster Beverage getting a little bit of a lift there. That's interesting to see. What about my Crocs play? I was watching that yesterday. Ooh, down today. It had a nice looking chart. I'm watching this on the daily. This is an interesting watch for me. We'll see what happens there.
Man, SPY is cooking still. It back tested that daily trigger we have at 96.60, and it is not slowing down. So if this candle that's poking above the little flag thing can resolve over that, then I would call my little short idea probably smoked. So this would be a small loss. We'll see about this candle here. I want to see if it actually can stick the move, but it's looking like it might be a bear skin kind of day. Gotta say.
Watching AAL here on the 17s to see if it just starts to push here and shake all that bearish morningness. And here it goes for the 1730s. So that's a good 1703s. Let's see if we can get a little push here towards like 1720s. That would be a good look for me and love.
Yeah, they've seen the bad news, it seems. That's a strong formation. I like it.
Yeah, I think, one of the things is, whenever you get these like ground holds, they can be really quick ended. And some people think that it's going to create more negativity than it actually does, right? Kind of an overblown headline. And it's just because why? Well, I'll tell you the truth. What happened this morning, Steve?
What the actual headline? I heard it was bad from somebody who was smart, and that's the furthest my fundamental analysis usually goes, Mitch, to be completely honest with you.
And that's perfect. That's all you really needed to hear, right? And
I mean, I just outsource it, right? Like, I know this guy's smarter than me when it comes to actual fundamentals. So if he says it's bad, I'm not going to buy it. But that being said, if everybody thinks it's bad, positioning can do wonders.
Yeah, so one of my things is with especially that situation, right, is that you got to ask yourself, was it a day that had heavy news flow or low news flow? It was a day where there was a lot of low news flow, right? And so the media itself, financial media, is always looking for the next headline. I'll just be as honest as I can be like that, because I was in Benzinga for 3 to 4 years, right? I think I know financial media, how it works, right? And so with that being said, the desk is just sitting around looking for something, right? And then something like this pops up. So when there's nothing, you just overblow this story, right? You just straight up like say, hey, stop everything. You get your top writers, start writing articles on this now. They write it up really quickly. They put it out there. And then the next thing you know, you get what? You get multiple headlines out there. You get Reuters to come out, you get CNBC, and next thing you know, the downside comes in, the wave comes in. But if you don't see that continued wave, that's very important. So what I'd be watching is DAL, UAL, the leaders that have been strong. If there's anything going to turn, it's the leaders first. It's not just going to be AAL there. And so you can see how AAL is essentially holding still a daily trend. And still it breaks that daily trend. I think you're still looking at this as bullish. We'll see what's going on in the Qs, though. They're just getting lift off here. Let's go to the sector.
Just while do you mind if I just cut in real quick for airlines?
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Tidbits. I learned from trading them. Keep a real close eye on energy because they're super closely tied with that, with fuel cost. It's so contingent upon that. Also on SPY, it does look like we were getting that 3 pushes up rejection there. So I think that, let's see. So that's so mean. My strategy on a scalp would be, technically it did close 1 minute candle over the previous high. So technically I would have been stopped out there, even though it is reversing basically immediately after that. So there's some funny business on the tape right now. I think they're just shaking the tree a little here. Just head on a swivel. I don't think that well, there's 2 options. Either it's bear skin day, which is that everything I see is wrong because we're going up, because low volume, let's do it. Or it's trappy and my gut is correct. So for me, this would be a size small day and a look for a mean flush out to actually long. That's kind of my strategy going into here.
All right, guys.
A lot of strength.
You called out a trend that I think is important to call out, and you really are seeing the Bitcoin names stand out there, guys. So I'm seeing a lot of volume coming into names like that. I'd call out BitX, which is the leverage Bitcoin play. That's doing pretty well, up about 9%. Now I'm seeing CleanSpark setting up here for a reversal above the 1050s here. I wouldn't mind risking off of the 1050s here. And you can see how it's kind of a really tight right on the VWAP. And now you can kind of turn back around from this kind of 1040s and start going back to 1070s. We'll see what happens now towards the 1058s. It looks interesting here.
Looks like it's a mid range of the day test here. Just eyeballing it there. Man, I'm so sad. I love this stock, but they just massacred my boy. I was trading this in the 20s. It felt like.
I took it there. I had to take it there. The CleanSparker, man. Yeah, they destroyed this stock. I will be honest. But I think this was more about traders trying to look for the easy trade. I think the platforms were the best bet. And so I'd kind of look at Coin and Hood still. Yeah. And they're having a decent day, right? So the best bet, I think, is in the platforms. I think we get too driven in the miners making all the money. But really, where does the money go when Bitcoin's being in the headlines? It's going to Coinbase because they're going there to buy it, right? And so they're making money when people are buying, right? And
when they're selling and when they're panic selling. That's the other.
Exactly.
So how I look at Bitcoin miners is they're like torque. If you can catch a big jump in Bitcoin, they will provide often the best bang for your buck in that period where basically it becomes rapidly more profitable all of a sudden. But as soon as that starts equilibriizing, yes, that's a word. As soon as an equilibrium comes to the market, then all of a sudden the liquidity gets sucked out of those. And like you're saying, they go into the safer crypto bets, which is either plunking it in Bitcoin or plunking it in Coin or Hood, because it's basically the same thing at this point, you know? It's really incredible trades. There are a few people that I respect a lot that have been very, very honed in on this trade of brokers, especially ones that do well in volatility settings. So like CBOE or TTD have both just done phenomenally in the past couple of years. And wow, look at SPY just powering through. I think it's bearskin day. I don't know. They're making some bearskin rugs.
They're trying to make the Santa Claus rally come early. Santa coming early, baby.
I mean, Mitch, I look at this minute chart on SPY and I can't buy it. It's an upward flag, but it's either a high and tight flag that's going to just smash out of this and leave everybody behind, or it's already priced me out. So
I don't know, man. It's one of those days where we're definitely seeing the cyclicals move really fast here. And cyclicals, of course, have your high beta. So just be ready, guys. It's going to be a day where I think you get some ups and downs or quick action. So I think that's what we're seeing right now. The quick action. And after that, it might get tougher down the road, right? Because the markets closed at 1 today. So the action might be quick. And then after that, the algos might slow things down. So I'm not looking for monstrous moves. I'm looking for like little scalps. in the market here. Let's see what happens. I did get some bottoming on the 75s there for love. So now I'm really looking for this to come right back through the 33.90s. Even below the 80s here, it seems to me like I should get out. So I'm going to risk about $100 on this play. Keep myself willing to play, right? That's what's important today, I think. And look to see if you can make some quick, easy cash today. It's not a bad day to take that easy money.
Yeah, if you're a scalper and the volume's still here and good, then by all means just buy pullbacks and sell when they're, you know, above whatever you're, you know, whether they hit your Bollinger Band or wherever you think they're a little overextended. You can definitely take bites out of this market, like relatively safely. But just like you're saying, be careful on these low volume days. When the volume leaves, it can really be like a light switch, you know? So I'm keeping an eye on this morning session and when it ends. But I mean, hey, we have room, so to speak. I could see 600 if we really want to get crazy. I just would be looking for a pullback pretty soon to get long in.
Still seeing that weakness there in love. We'll see what happens, but American staying strong. That's what's keeping me in. I'm seeing the 1708s, but the 1710s are going to be interesting here on American. Let's see if they get hit or does it pass through there on the 1710s to 1720s. Clean spark pulling back to the 1054s. I'd like to see that start to go right back through the 1070 level here on a nice little push.
Someone mentioned the URA ETF, and that is something I'm keeping an eye on here. It's starting to try to curl out, and it's coming into really long-term support in this 2750 area. That's, I mean, 27 to 2750 is support leading all the way back to like August. So that's where I would really like to see a hold. You know, so if we're talking swing trades, these are definitely on my watch list for sure. I'm not sure if you were looking long or short. I could see reasons to look short. Very short term, but this is definitely
NNE coming back here. Just alert. I've been keeping an eye on this, looking for it to come back through. It hit the 2650s. That was an area I'd looked at as an hourly support around the 2650 area. Now starting to come back through 27. Really, 2750s is where it starts to get hot again. But I'm keeping a close eye on it here as it's coming back to VWAP pretty quickly.
Yeah, I got that cute retest of the highs of a couple of days ago, and it just said, nope, we're going higher. I really like this chart.
All right, guys, we'll see if Clean Spark can get moving here through the 1060s. It hit it for a second, hit 1062. Now it's up here once, twice. So on the third time, right, we're just seeing this kind of bounce. Now right here, I'm looking for the 1060s to get taken. If not, I'll probably just get out of it to trade here. So it's like hold the 9 EMA now on the pullback and then just break through towards the upside.
Mitch, you know, I'm looking at this NNE daily chart. Man, does it look good for a swing trade.
That's why I look at, that's the majority of the times. If I'm looking for a stock for an intraday move, I first start and think swing trade. Yeah. Like, cause that's my bread and butter. So that's how I find the plays a lot of the times. And that's the daily. The daily stands out to you clearly, right?
Oh, absolutely. That little back test, just a real shallow back test of that breakout of the pennant. And it looks like it wants to cook. I'm thinking it looks like SMR did in the base, where it's just, it would surge up and then it would come down to just about half of the last surge and just parabola up another 30, 40, 50%. These move really fast when they get cooking. So definitely.
All right. Back towards the 60s here. It went to 1065s there. So Clean Spark tried to break through the top end Bollinger Band here. I'm looking for a breakout through that top end Bollinger Band here. If not, I'll go ahead and I'll get out. Because if not, I could get the bottom end Bollinger Band test, and I'm not going to stick around for that.
Yeah. GME boys here might have gotten a little too cocky. Looks like we're putting in a double top for the daily price action so far. I don't know, Mitch. I think it's not allowed to go up when SPY's going up. I think the stock cabal is holding our boy down.
You know, you can overlay it and see how that action's doing, right? That's one way to kind of confirm that.
Oh yeah, or ratio charts. That's fun too. I've definitely done some. I can concoct enough confluence in my head, but maybe I'm just seeing patterns where there aren't any. Being a GME long, you know, I am prone to do such a thing. So,
All right, guys, set the wrist there in Clean Spark for 25 bucks, 1053. So just keeping it really tight there in Clean Spark. It's going to either jump off of these 1060s or it's going to be, for me, a breakdown back towards the 1040s. So I don't want to be a part of the 1040 move, but I wouldn't mind a quick move through this 1070 because I feel like if it does 1070, 11s is right there. Like, and then next thing you know, you could be 1140s, 1150s on this. And that's a nice win for me here. So let's see if it goes. Now it's starting to get moving here. It's back towards the 65s. I cancel my stop loss so it doesn't know where I'm at. Let's see what happens here. I only like to show my hands when I need to.
yeah, don't let them take your money, Mitch. They want to shake you out. But this is a good example of the same pattern we were seeing on MU in terms of like a box trade where it's at the bottom of its range. And then when it gets up to that 11, 11.25, whatever the top of that zone is, you could take some off and you could leave a little bit on if you thought it was going to break out too. You know, that kind of entry gives you more latitude for how you want to play the trade. Always like looking for setups like that.
Looking for the 1070 break now. Love coming back slowly too towards the 3390s. So just got to keep trailing that action now. Looking at the 15 minutes for it to start holding that low wick there around the 77s and getting back to the 34s. Still look good on that action there on Love. I'll just keep it working. There's Clean Spark starting to get going here. Let's see if it breaks the 70s now. It just hit for a second there, 66 on the offer.
Yeah, we got BITF, Bit Farms. That's another strong one today, up 5% and cooking. That's nice. Yeah, BTDR, 6.5% up. IREN, 4.5%. Bitcoin miners definitely pulling a thing. So we could look to see if Bitcoin can start accelerating again. That might be what we're looking at. I'm also looking for GME support to come in pretty soon if it can hold this potential flagging pattern on the intraday. Otherwise, we may be in for a 30-50 revisit, but there are buyers still at the 200-minute moving average. So trade is still on, so to speak.
All right, looking good here now. Let's see if we can get the breakout now.
Good morning, future billionaire. Good to see you, brother. Hope your trades are prosperous and your holidays are jolly.
All right, here's Clean Spark getting right back up there, looking for the 1070 break here. Let's see if we can get it there. And I'd look at some other miners to see how that's looking. Riot, right on the top end, same thing. Mara, right on the top end, same thing. So pretty much the all charts going side by side here. Let's see if the algos can take it.
This does feel super algo-y just in the grind up. You can see every single time it goes under that 9-minute moving average, they're just no, just buying it on up, which is great while it works, but it just makes me scared. You know, I need to keep my head on a swivel for that volume to fall out and the trade to just whoop.
Look at the Qs, how it went today, guys. That's gone there. And I think at this point, it's going to be hard sliding here. But the Qs continuing the upside. There, I set the break-even stop at 58. I have a feeling it'll get me out break-even here. That's okay, because at this point, what did it do? 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to break that 1070. I respect my rules. I get out.
Yeah, it's starting to look, if this candle doesn't play out, like the algo may have flipped off, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Looking to see if this Love can come back through the 3390s. There's a nice little, that's what I'm talking about. Now we've got a nice little spike there in Love.
NNE back over 27, very, very productive. Love to see
Yeah,
it.
NNE is the one that I don't want to miss out on, guys. That's a good looking hourly reverse off to 2650s.
Shoot, speaking of names I missed, I was looking at Lunar at the very low today, and it's now up 9% and breaking out in like 20 minutes. Whew, what a smoke.
SMR on the same setups there for NNE. One that I'd like to see also is GEV. This is the one that isn't traded so much in the nuclear space, but has the better chart.
Yo,
Why?
keep it close. So I'm sorry.
Why is this also the better one? Because it's literally from GE, right? Like You
They
think
don't
GE's
miss.
not going to jump on nuclear? There's a reason why they split this out, right?
And
This is
every single one of their spinoffs just is gangbusters. I mean, their healthcare spinoff just straight up. Last time I checked, they know what they're doing. You know.
so
Um,
one thing to see is that GEV gets strong first. What you're seeing out there, my friend, if you want, you can share your chart too. Feel
yeah.
free.
Let's see. Give me one sec to clean it up a little bit, but I'll just
Not a worry.
yeah. I'm seeing a lot of strength in the rocket space. So Lunar it looks like is leading. Check Rocket Lab too. That's been the
Yeah,
leader.
RKT.
Yeah.
No, not RKT. It's
RKLB.
RKLB. There
On
you
the
go.
daily, RKLB looks really close to breaking out again.
Yeah.
Intraday, yeah, it's cooking. So all of these names I think are great for swings here. ASTS, exactly what I was
That's
looking
the
at.
one, man. That's the one. That's the chart that looks a little better for me.
Yeah, I'm there for it. Rocket Lab's a little extended. ASTS has been
Here's
decent.
here's the mover too. It's
Oh,
SPCE if you really want to see it fly.
yeah, there's your torque
That
there.
thing has short interest like crazy, so that could get a little short squeezy.
Nice inverted head and shoulders there. But yeah, man, I'm a big bull on Rocket Lab and ASTS here, and Lunar. But you know, I feel like I don't really want to buy it when it's up 8%. I'd rather buy the laggard here. But they all look great, man. Oof. That's another one that guts me, man. I was in Lunar from under 10, and then under 5 actually, I believe, and I just kind of fumbled it on the way up. You know, when it's up 40-50%, it feels like you should take a big chunk off, but when no trade is working, let it cook. You know, it's a good lesson for me.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that. I'm watching Love right now really closely, guys. So I'm looking for a 34 break here. If it doesn't go, I just want to let it go. But look what's happening in AAL. That's
Yeah.
exactly the type of move that I called for. Now I got that. Now I should get the move that I'm looking for in my stocks, and UAL and DAL should be on the upsides. That's exactly what I'm seeing. So Love needs to go for the breakout now. So you can see here a nice little setup here on the 15-minute. It kind of recovered that, held the bottom of this. Now I'm looking for the top end range. If it breaks this on the downside, I know I got to go, which is like that 33.80. So now just looking for the 34 break towards 34.10. And then we can start to go back through this top end of the channel, right? So it's kind of in this little channel here, and it's trying to trade through that. Let's see if it can get out of the channel.
You know, I am seeing another potential short. It would be a very small size testing position here if I would take it, but I would take it right here with a stop above. And man, it just looks so strong though. I think they're just skinning bears, but my strategy would tell me that this is a viable short after that big crackdown. If it doesn't push higher on this push up, I'd be looking for a fade. As I'm talking, I'm just seeing the market push straight back up. So it's scary out there if you're bearish.
Yeah, it's not looking like the day for that. AMD is one to keep an eye out. Now it's just hanging out on the VWAP. Look for potential moves down here to see if that actually affects the market a little bit. NVIDIA pulling back too. I'm seeing TSM. Let's see what's up with TSM today. It's also on a little bit of a pullback here. Apple. How's Apple doing there? It was a strong opening move. Look at Apple, man. That thing is taking off there. Microsoft on the takeoff too. Yeah. Those two stocks. So Tesla, Microsoft, NVIDIA, if those names are moving like that, guys, I don't see this, at least the boat stopping anytime soon.
I got to say AMD is looking kind of sketchy to me. It looks kind of bear flaggy intraday on the bottom. Yeah. I think it needs one more flush out. And SPY, you know, it is trying to hold. The reason why I wanted to go bear there was I have a line at 598.07 from a while ago that it just pinged to the penny and said, there's still sellers here. So that is something to watch. You could play the breakdown through that big red 1 minute candle about 5 minutes ago, the 597.50 handle. But I think until it shows an incentive to lose that little swing low, it's still in flag mode here. AMD does seem to be pushing out or pushing down and trying to rebase. So we'll see where it kind of settles. I would like to see that 124 handle still tagged, but it might be a little bit aggressive.
Palantir, how's that continuing? I talked about maybe potentially 90 coming up soon. Look at that breakout right out the gates from 81 to 84. Wow. It's on the move, man.
Crazy. It's crazy. Never sell your winners, man. I had Palantir at 15. I'm so sad. Oh, Merry Christmas to me, huh?
It happens. It happens, my friend. It's just
Oh,
a learning lesson, man.
yeah.
Learning lesson. All right, guys, we're seeing the strength there. PayPal even showing some strength on the scanners there. So just calling out that. Amazon doing well off the 227. And this has been on a little bit of a pullback here. So pretty decent there on Amazon. Starting to see some action there in the space for quantum, guys. So if the market can continue hot, at some point this could actually stay strong. So I'd be keeping an eye on it, like Rigetti, see if that leads the party. And then you got QUBT, QMCO, right? Those are the ones that you'd be watching. QMCO's above VWAP, actually holding a little bit better than QUBT. And then IonQ, I talked about if that one started to make its way back here, that's another one to keep an eye out for. Look at the 15-minute chart. And you guys know I was bearish these yesterday, and I'm feeling that the strength right now in the market could bring these back at least a little bit here in the first action.
I'm with you because the market doesn't want to slow down here.
Exactly. So it's hard to bet against hard turnarounds when the market's ripping back. So a lot of times the market will probably go and rip the face of the shorters, right? Because the way that the market's moving.
I mean, I was articulating the short position twice today, and I was wrong twice. So for me personally, in terms of rules, I'm tapping out. This is I'm on Christmas break, so to speak, in terms of trading at this point. Some days you don't have a good read, and I'm kicking myself because I was bullish going into today, and you get caught up in the 1 minute pattern sometimes, and you lose your game plan a little bit. It's a good reminder to have a theme for the day, and stick with it until it proves you wrong. Trust yourself.
100%. And you got to be willing to get in and out. I think that's the important thing too that I've really been trying to get better at, right? Be willing to get in, get out, right? If you see the momentum slow down, wait for the momentum to come back in. And then start looking for range breakouts, right? If you feel like you miss timing things, well, just look for the range to actually break versus looking for if you keep getting the missed timing, right? That's the one thing that I've seen sometimes, even in my own trading. If I'm missing the timing, why do I keep trying to jump the time?
Right. Yeah, let the trade come to you, let it play out. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about the market. Every single stock is in the pattern of either accumulation, expansion, or distribution, right? So, I mean, there's always new opportunities setting up there. If you miss one, just on to the next, right? What can you do?
Exactly. That's it. Keep it simple sometimes, guys. Keep it simple. All right, guys. I'm about to keep it simple here, guys. It's go or no go now on love. So pretty much don't want it to break the 90s here. It's been sitting in the 95s, 96, 95s, 96. So if they want to take it, they'll probably take the 98s and then it'll hit the 34. So I'm just going to put the stop right underneath it here because the worst thing is 33.77 stop out now. I could risk $40 on this, and I'm down 47 on the day. Just giving myself opportunities to stay in the fight. That's the way I've been realizing more and more what it's all about. It's sometimes I think, like I talk about the stages of trading and how you got to be, moving from each to each, but you can also pull this into your intraday type of mentality, right? At the beginning, when I start the day, I'm more thinking I just want to be a survivor. The first trade, I can't get wrecked. Then if I start to make a little bit of money and I'm moving into the lunch trading action and I'm starting to make a little bit of cash, I start looking for ways that I can move myself in the thriving stage. But if I notice myself just being in that loser stage, I also got to realize that maybe it's a survivor day. And can I get myself close to break even again? These are all things that you have to know in how you're working, how you're executing on the day. If you can really focus on that, you can just catch yourself when you're doing well and catch yourself when you're not doing well, right? There's a book, I'll tell you guys, and it's called The Observer. I tell you guys to kind of take a look at it. Maybe it's on an Audible that you guys can just listen into, right? I listen to a lot of Audible books just because I don't have the time to read them, but I still want to get the gist of the book and at least understand it. So The Observer is all about observing your mentality, right? And what's going on there. Because if you could just be the observer inside of your head and observe what you're thinking, then maybe you can catch yourself in trading. This is all about trying to understand that when are we trying to think about the wrong things in our head versus focusing on the right things, right? Am I observing that I'm doing the right stuff, right? Am I in the present moment, right? All things that are very present in trading. It's so important to focus on what's happening versus what I want to happen, and then just reacting, right? It's just like a boxer, right? If they start thinking about what hand is going to come next, I'll tell you right now, that boxer ends up getting knocked out. Because it's not about thinking what hand's going to come next. It's about opening the eyes, clear eyes, opened eyes, right? And then you can start winning, guys. So just stay focused on what's happening. It's not about what has happened or what you think could happen.
Right. Mitch, you hit it so perfectly on the head when you were describing the market playing out how you want it to, or I guess how you don't want it to, versus, it's so important to hone the skill of catching yourself in that state of wanting the market to do something. Because what that feeling is you're fighting what you're seeing. You see something and you don't like it, and you're thinking with your ego, on some level. So I think it's really, really important. The days that I trade poorly but catch myself and only take paper cuts, it's because I'm able to recognize, man, my heart's too in this. For whatever reason that day, I'm a little bit too emotionally invested. And we're humans, right? Just stocks oscillate, so do human emotions. So it's so important to read your own stock, so to speak. Read your own chart and be very in tune with how that's playing with the market. When you're in tune with the market, it's all good. But when there's something out of sync, if the market's going up but your P&L isn't, it's time for some introspection, I think. So that's my waxing philosophic a little bit there. But.
And it's what it is, guys. The more that you can catch yourself, you're going to start to make improvements, right? Got to stay in the peak performance mode and understand when we're not in peak performance.
And this level, I had a hankering for a short here, and it is showing incentives to sell at this level. So I'm not saying go take a loan and short here, but I am saying, like, if you're not long now, it's probably pretty sketchy to jump in as the power candle comes and just reverses that red. Man, skin and bears. What can you say, right? Sometimes the market has decided to open, and that seems to be the case here. What can you do?
Yeah, one of the things that can easily happen is that it can come early, right? The gain for Santa can come early, can come fast. CREV moving fast there, guys. Did you guys see BAOS? At least I'm not mad. I took a big hit on this on the other account this morning, but it wasn't a bad stock, man. This thing's now $12. This thing's up an 582%.
Mitch, I just got to say, your attitude is why you're able to be a trader, to kind of just take that in stride. And it is what it is. What can you say?
Right. I mean, sometimes it's about being on the right stock. In this case, I was on the right stock, bad execution play, right? And so sometimes give yourself a pat on the back, right? Give yourself a pat on the back. Just finding the right stock is good enough, right? I mean, at first, right? In the long run, I do want to be playing these more and more. But what I like to do is I like to play the pre-market first run. When I talked to myself on BAOS and I look back when I took the trade, it was the important part for BAOS is that I went for move 2 in the pre-market. No, that doesn't usually happen. I'll tell you right now what I usually like. Move 1, if I catch it fast enough. Move 3, if I can catch it in the open market, right? And so this is move 3. This is move 3 where you could see the drive 3 happening on the 1 minute, right? And you're going to clearly see it. It's going to stand out like really obvious, right? So the first action was this kind of first action right in the after hours, right? This was that first breakout, right? That gave you that first move, right? Then you were this morning, by the time I looked at it, it was already up there to 6. It's broken that first move, right? If I don't catch it at the 6 a.m. ride, the 6, I caught it more over here, playing it on this VWAP pullback, right? And that's move 2, looking for this drive. This right here caught me, right? And that's normal, right? Because it wasn't a bad look. But the real key was if I would have been waiting for the full pullback on the hourly or 15-minute, I could have seen that The support was around the 388s, and looking for this to break down to 2 layers of support, and this eventually goes to the 3 support. And what you really want to look for in a stock like this is the high of the day breakout, which was 5. That's where you really started to see the strength come in this thing, where it came back in, and boy, was it hot, right? It goes to like $4 and gets back up above 5, holds above 5, and right here is where it got hot. It held really well on this 9 EMA, and right there, boom, goes into a halt, goes into the breakout, goes into a halt, right?
Right now, by the way, it's looking pretty sussy here. I'd be very
pretty tight. But the one thing that I can say is that's 2 halts. We still have potential for the 3rd halt on the upside, and then the downside coming in. We'll see what happens there.
That looked like there's a big batch of sellers at 13. I am antsy today, as you can tell by my unwillingness to just slam longs. So, grain of salt here, but yeah, I'd be a little careful. One thing I did want to say about the BAOS chart, as you were talking about it, I just love fibs so much, because if you slap a fib on that the big pre-market move, you'll see it came right back into that golden pocket. That what would it be? It barely tagged the 0.7, which is basically the exact middle between 2 very important fibs. And so for me, if I was really on it, that would be my entry, and it would have been almost a bottom tick. But another entry is when it pushed through the 50 fib, and that's where it was basing at 407. And you can see as soon as it broke above that high, it just was off to the races. So that's just something to keep in mind. Those fibs are a great way to, if you see something go crazy pre-market and you want to get in cash session like you're talking about, there are opportunities. There's always some metric that could get you into these. Almost always, I should say.
Clean Spark going for a little bit of a rip here. We'll see if it breaks the 1070 level. That's the important one. QUBT is one that I'm keeping an eye out for, a move back up here, and you can see it just pushed back to 17 and rejected that. So that's the 3rd rejection. That looks like a nice little fade opportunity now. Normally I go shorting this play here, at least the setup. Let's see if it just rips now towards the 1740s. I'm as honest as can be. That's normally a nice short setup. We'll see what happens there.
Brian D with my subconscious primitive mind.
Tesla ripping off the VWAP. Tesla's VWAP hold. Look at that. Pretty.
Wow.
Apple holding on here. Nvidia is one to definitely watch here. It's on the VWAP here. We'll see if it goes right back to the upside. Love is right on the 95s, looking for the break above that. We'll see if we actually get it there. If I get back to break even, I'll start looking for the continuation move, but let's see what happens there. Archer showing up there tells me take a look at that one. Look at the rip off on that. That tells me look at RCAT for maybe some sympathy type of play here. And you're seeing it already up there, and this looks like it's trying to hold the 1170s here, but definitely getting a rip there. RCAT recovery on the 15 minutes there, so definitely Archer, the drone play there.
If we have any masochists who like shipping, Zim is putting in a very interesting look after the power candle yesterday. This thing looks like it's a nice swing for a potential move up to 26-ish, I'd say. It's one to keep an eye on for the swing traders. They're a little degen. Shipping is a scary place to be in general, but when you catch those moves.
Rigetti doing well there, guys. I'd start looking to see if IonQ starts getting hot here. It's looking like it is. There it is, guys. So I like the QUBT off the 17 here. It's the weakest one of the 3, so it's a little bit tough to get it. So I'm waiting to see if it can really lift through here and then start to like squeeze out some of the shorts, right? So let's see if this starts to go back. But Rigetti had been holding all day long, and that one's looking pretty good, looking like it might go for a 12 break. I can't even get this one anymore because it's already had too big of a move on the day, but it's pushing strong there, Rigetti. We'll see if it goes through the high there.
Rocket Lab here is doing the thing. It's looking like it's breaking out on the daily here. So that's something to look at for a swing, and you could take that with a stop under the low of the day, call it 25, and you could be targeting first tranche out at 28 there. I think there's a lot of room to re-roll a trade there and potentially catch the next big leg with a jump, because I think this stock's just going to keep on going up. Rocket Lab and ASTS should follow. Real bullish on these names. What's up,
all right, guys?
Hanging in there? Yeah, hanging in there. So it is seeming to try to hold this flag that it's posting on the day. On the daily chart, we are kind of dojing up into that same level of resistance over 3120. It has a hard time pushing, but it's seemingly trying to flip this to support. What do you think about that, Mitch?
All right. What I think about it is, looks like the clock is ticking, guys, and looks like my trading is probably coming to an end here. So I'm not sure about GME here. It like the 31s for some reason. 31s are the area to hold, right? You're going back to 31s, so as long as you can keep bodies above this 30.95s, you're still looking good because you're in this consolidation zone.
Yeah.
So I'd continue to watch that, and you got to look at the hourly, right? It's one of the things with GME, we have a tendency of going to the 1 minute very easily
Yeah.
in GME. So I'd say look at the hourly. Keep yourself watching these hourly patterns, right? So this is what I was seeing beforehand, and it felt like it held well here, but you can see it shook a lot of traders there in between this. I'm sure it shook some traders in those cut downs. So the rescoop back is at 31.55. If you look, this has been a problem before, right? This is a problem area, and we keep running into problem areas. Sometimes when you're in problem areas, you want to see them get through it, because if you can get through it, you get that continuation. Playing it right here is tough. If you're buying on hourly long pullbacks, then it's a little bit better, right? Like 30, 50s.
Yeah, or even 31. That's what I'm seeing is the pivot. That push up yesterday, it tried 3 times to get above. It couldn't, but it posted higher lows, and now it's starting today to act as support on that 31 handle. So I'm hoping that trend continues and we get a nice strong closing to the end here. And I think that should set it up for a continuation.
There's quantum, guys. Look at QUBT, guys. So there it is, 1737s. Now that's starting to get going here. It could be a little bit of a trap, but I've seen these other ones start to really make the move. It doesn't look too bad here on QUBT. I wouldn't mind taking a quick scalp here, so I'm going to try to go for a scalp in quantum.
The more I look at the SPY hourly, I think we're headed right on back to 605. Really darn quick here. The push through the fib from the breakdown on Wednesday to the low on Friday, it just smashed that 50. So I think that we're cooking up into that old volume profile up at 603, 605. Got some tickers in the chat. U and EA, interesting. Some video game names.
UAVA. What about UMAC? Another drone player. That's doing well too. So those drone plays doing pretty well here, guys. Love going through the 34 here, guys. So on Love, I'm going to add here because I've been playing that already, right? Might as well just go for the win here.
Nice. Good look. For you there on the daily, it's really starting to curl out there. I'm seeing a lot of looks like this. So you, as long as it can close here or above, to me, it's looking really bullish for a back test of 24 minimum, and likely to try to push higher. This to me looks like a cup and handle break or back test, breakout back test here. So a lot of good things there. Wonder if there's anything going on in the video game scene that I should be keeping an eye on. Because EA is starting to bottom there off of the same kind of look that was basing previously. Let's take 2 down.
All right, QUBT setting up here. We'll see if it starts to get the real move here.
Yeah, TTWO, take 2, is also looking really strong today. I'm thinking I don't know, video games look strong. I don't know what's going on, but something's cooking. Maybe it's just because everything's going up. That's a possibility. Wow, SPY.
Yeah, the strength, man. The strength is continuing here.
Yep. Yeah, I saw it in the first flag when I was just powering through. That it was like, bears are not getting traction today. I really should have just jumped in.
It's close here, though. It's close. I mean, you're definitely seeing a slowdown in the Qs, though. That's one thing that I'd warn to.
Yeah, in terms of ATR,
yeah, I'm going to stay with Love just to kind of put that in perspective here, guys. But go ahead, give your last words here. I'm going to start wrapping it up here, Steve. Get us on out of here since it's Christmas Eve. I know a lot of people got things to do. Unity's a good one. I hope that's doing well.
Looking good.
We'll see. Yeah,
Real,
Unity's doing well.
real quick here, just keep an eye on that 599. That's the big pivot here ATR wise. Either we get stopped there, or seems like we could drift up to the 601 to 602.50 areas. That's where your off ramps are in terms of ATR ranges. So yeah, keep an eye on that. If you're long, great job. Stay long until it proves wrong, but keep an eye on that 99 handle.
All right, we'll see what happens there, guys. I'll try to write out love and see if I can get a nice little win there. I got about 1,000 shares off of 30.04. Hope you guys have a great one like always. And from two of the jolliest guys out on YouTube today, guys, definitely have a Merry Christmas. Take care out there. Take care of the families. And like always, one of the things that I always say is during holidays, break time, I know that you guys can be really pushing into your studying and things like that. I do recommend that. But at the same time, what I recommend most is also clear mind, right? Get ready. We got a big, big year ahead of us. And if you're looking in the long run, it's not about one day. It's about adding up weeks of consistencies to months of consistency that bring you a year of consistency. So I wish you guys the best of luck out there. Shout out to my man, Steve, for joining me today. Appreciate you coming and taking some time. And Merry Christmas out there, guys. Take care out there.
Merry Christmas. Take care.
All right. We out.